Welcome to, I don't know what episode this is, of Unqualified with Frank Ginzano.
And Dave Magaldi.
You know what? We're professionals now because we introduced the show and each other.
That's nice. And we didn't actually introduce each other by saying each other's name.
Yeah.
This time.
We're getting there. That's why the name of the show is called Unqualified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Frank, just a little bit of a shout out from a couple of ladies that listen to our sports podcast. They like it because it is user-friendly and not super sporty, I hear.
Unqualified with Frank Ginzano and Dave Magaldi.
I don't know what that means, but
We're finding our niche.
you talk about sports like you don't know it.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. Thank you, ladies. We really appreciate it. Speaking of ladies, and we're doing shout-outs. Shout-out to my mother. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mrs. Ginzano.
Lovely woman. Probably still the toughest woman I know.
Yeah.
Who still does not like you.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not for everybody.
But you are, though. Her exact words were, he seems like your friend who tries to become friends with everyone's wives and moms because of how likable he is, and I don't like it. She didn't say that, no, and she adores you. She really does. Yeah.
Right.
But I knew that kind of would have hurt your feelings, and that's who we are.
That's who we are.
That's who we are.
We try to hurt each other's feelings sometimes.
I have a bone to pick.
What's that?
There's two of them.
Okay.
Really. And I don't know which bone to pick, and one of our theories for the show is not to yell.
Right.
So I'm going to try not to yell about this.
Okay.
All right, but number one, I went and got your coffee today.
Thank you.
Your chai tea latte.
It's not a coffee; it's a tea.
It's a tea. I get coffee.
Yeah.
Right, but I go in our little establishment, and I'm a frequent customer there.
Yeah.
And I order your chai tea latte, and she says, "Oh, you're going to go see your girlfriend today," implying that I'm somebody that I'm not, and that's where my bone to pick is. Not that she broke my balls, and I loved it, right? But implying that I'm somebody I'm not, and that's kind of where my bone is right now.
What's that?
Is like just own up to who you are, right?
Yeah.
Don't affect people's lives. Don't hurt people's lives. Don't bring them into your twisted, sick little world and then deceive them, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into particulars on this individual or individuals that I have this issue with.
I love the passive aggressive. Yes, go.
Yeah, is it passive aggressive?
100%. Yes.
But I can't. But we can get sued.
No,
I can't just call this dude out.
No, we can't.
I'm sorry. Shit. Damn it. I just said I can't call this dude
All
out.
right, so now we know half of the population.
And he's most likely white.
Most likely from Philadelphia.
No.
Not from Philadelphia.
Yeah. So,
right.
We're in a day and age in the year 2023. You could be whatever you want to be.
That's right.
Right? Don't be deceptive. Don't be a jerk off.
That's funny. I think I'm going to release the podcast after this one, but I just talked about 20 things that I learned about being an attorney, and your reputation was one of those things, is that it protected at all costs.
Always.
Always, right?
Real estate agents too, right? Your reputation will always precede you in everything that you do.
There's no deal, there's no case, there's no individual issue that's ever worth your reputation. I mean, it just isn't. Just tell the truth.
All right. Hey, we got breaking news that just came in. Do we have a breaking news sound?
Why
did that sound like an old man? I actually like that.
That's our breaking news sound.
Your first one sounded like an old man having an orgasm. Breaking news. Shohei Ohtani is heading to the Toronto Blue Jays.
The Toronto Blue Jays. I just want to know how somebody makes that decision when the tax rate in Toronto is now
horrific. It's 40%.
I can't.
You get health care.
You would have got health care through the fucking major leagues. I don't. Doesn't make
You have free health care.
That's great.
Some beautiful women too.
Toronto's a great city.
Yeah, it is.
It is. It's good for comedy too, by the way.
A lot of strip clubs.
Is there a lot of strip
I've never been there.
No, I heard Montreal's strip club central.
It's too Frenchy for me.
It is too Frenchy. Shout out to Judo Frenchie.
I sounded like McGill there from University of Penn.
I like certain French people, not a lot.
That was the feedback that I got on our podcast, that they really enjoyed us laughing at our own jokes.
I told you you had to stop laughing out of the out of the microphone.
Well, the thing that you had me laughing at was horrible, so I had to cover the mic. Shohei Ohtani, big news, big baseball news.
I mean, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with him.
I love how the AL East just changed,
Yeah.
like the power in that. I mean that Baltimore's better, not with the Craig Kimbrell signing. They may have went backwards there. So that Tampa Bay, that they never go to the free agency market. They always build within. They're always competitive.
Yeah.
Then you had the Yankees in Boston. Now Toronto's like, hey, you know what? We're badass motherfuckers too, and we're going all in.
Yeah, we're going to get the best player in baseball. I mean, is he going to pitch next year?
I don't think so.
Right. So he's just a DH for next year.
Yeah. Do they have another Japanese player there?
I don't know.
I don't know, but I know that with the Japanese players, they do tend to be a little lonely. Yaramoto
Yeah.
is also looking to make a deal, looking for a big number, by the way. But he also is looking for another Japanese player that he could kind of power around.
I mean,
with.
I get that, right? I mean, the culture shock is big, and then the language barrier is big. So, I mean, I get it.
Yeah. Still waiting on the details of the signing.
So, but Philly's hot stove is really nothing.
Cold.
Yeah, the cold stove.
I mean, I think it's somewhat dangerous, right? That you're saying that you're running it back.
Yeah.
I think running it back is dangerous in itself. That you think that you're going to get the same output from these players that you had previously.
Yeah.
I think it's dangerous.
Well, to their defense, right? Trey Turner was not Trey Turner last year. Schwarber underperformed for most of the regular season. And then you have the two young kids, Bohm and Stott, that should be getting better, right?
Yeah, they should be.
So, you might naturally get better, but I saw on the intranets that they were looking for outfield help, but the outfield help that they're naming like Adam Duvall, Michael Taylor, Tommy Pham, Kiki Hernandez, who are they? I mean,
I'll take Tommy Pham out of all of them. Tommy Pham's the clear best one that you just named out of all of them, and it's not saying much.
No, right. I mean, it's like a utility guy, or you know what I mean, or like a platoon guy. That's nothing that they can't really probably get out of the minor leagues. A 265 hitter, 18 home runs, or something like that. You know what I mean? Like you could probably get that anywhere.
Yeah. It's.
They'd have to do something in center field.
They do. I'm still a believer in Dombrowski.
Yeah.
I want to see how he handles the rest of the off season. You know, before I say that it was a before my opinion is that it's dangerous to run it back and hoping that you're going to get the same output.
Right. I mean, I think so. Outfield help and bullpen is the main things, I think. I mean, you got to do something in the bullpen.
Right.
I mean, the bullpen was a fucking disaster.
Oh, it wasn't good.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, they did get better because Craig Kimbrell signed with Baltimore.
Yeah, addition by subtraction. Just like when Bobby Abreu left and we became a contender instantly.
Still one of the top 5 underrated Phillies of all time. Don't be mad.
Still hate his face.
It's pretty ugly.
Who has a more hateable face, him, Bobby Abreu, or Pat Burrell?
For me? For me, because Pat Burrell tried to pick up my wife one time, but Pat Burrell.
Pat Burrell tried to pick up everyone's wife at one time.
Yeah, and every fat girl
Yeah.
at an Irish pub. So, whatever. I mean, that's fucking truth. Pat, come on. We know. You chased hogs, buddy. I seen it.
A win is a win. A barrel is a barrel.
Sorry. I'm sorry, ladies. The 4 ladies that listen to this fucking podcast.
I can tell you, there's 2 of them. I don't know who they are. Mary Genzano and Andrea Genzano.
Laura Magaldi's one of them.
Yeah. Andrea's like, where you going? I'm like, to do the podcast. She was like, oh, you're still doing that? So, yeah, just to put a bookend on this. I think the Phillies are in an interesting place. Yeah. They have a lot of high expectations right now for the last 2 years. They have the best player, in my opinion, in the National League, Bryce Harper, who interestingly is looking for an extension.
That's incredible. How much does that guy love this town?
Right? How much? I mean, so I saw a lot of backlash about it on the intranets.
Really?
Yeah. from these dopes that were like, oh, what, he wants another contract extension? He's got 8 years left. Yeah. Guess what else he can do? Hit the ball really well. And he's a professional at it.
Right, and the DH in the National League now, he's going to be able to hit till he's 40. I mean, probably.
Well, yeah, that contract brings him to like 39.
Right.
So, get him to 41, 42, 43. Make the man happy. It brings the average down of the contract over years.
Right.
Just do it. He's a top 5 favorite Philly for me all time. So, and I love how he plays the game. I love his approach. I love that he wants to be it. That's who we are, right? We love when people want to be here.
Yeah, I mean, yes, we are very needy in that way.
Yeah. Anthony Bourdain said it best.
It's that.
Right? He was like, when I from Philadelphia were like, hey, you need to come to Philly. And then when I declined, they were like, well, then fuck you. We don't need you to come here. And then he was like, no, I kind of wanted to come, and I want to see what this was about. Right? But that's kind of who we are, right?
Yeah, it is who we are. Yeah. So how about your Philadelphia Flyers, buddy?
They just keep winning, dude.
Another 3-game winning streak. Every time we're on this podcast, they're on a winning streak.
Are we getting flyered up?
I know. I am a little bit. I mean, they're in second place in their division, 4th place in the conference. I mean, they're playing well.
Let's get ready, baby.
Dude, Travis Konechny has 14 goals, ties him ninth in the league, and Nick Seeler is a plus 13, a defenseman.
And they're starting to find their identity.
Yeah.
They really are, which is shocking because I feel like the Eagles' defense lost their identity. And, when you have an entire team walking through your defensive drills, that speaks volumes. And nothing happened. No one got ejected, and no one's face got busted open. Yeah. It spoke volumes. Now, we're going to do a deep dive into the Eagles game, but going back to the Flyers, they seem like they got their identity. Their identity's coming from their coach, which is good. Yeah. The Flyers have been lacking a really good coach for a long time, and I'm happy that Torts is here, right? Yeah. And he is implementing his systems, his processes, and he's got buy-in from the players.
Yeah. Can we at some point talk about how ridiculous the NHL players and their fucking nicknames? I hate them. But anyway, let's go.
Yeah.
Torts.
We've been talking about a lot of hockey players lately.
Torts.
Yeah.
At least
Jonesies. Jonesies.
Why is there always an IE at the end?
Connor Bedard's mom, whore.
Well, that might not be podcastable.
I said walking in here, I'm going to be well-behaved. Yeah. As soon as I get around you.
That lasted 13 minutes.
Exactly. And then in addition to our boys back, Kelly Oubre.
Kelly Oubre is playing again. He was very obstinate about any questions about his injury.
Didn't happen. It's like the mafia. It didn't exist. Leave me alone. I was a very traumatic time for me. Very traumatic time. Fuck out, Kel. Let's just call it what it was. Yeah. You're doing BMX wheelies, and you fell. Yeah, you fell. You fell into a car. Right. And you're like, oh, my God, that car hit me. Right. Yeah, the car hit you. That wasn't moving. Anyway, the Sixers are playing well. They're 14-7. Mm-hmm. They got 5 guys averaging over 10 points a game. They are 4th in points scored. Yeah, another win last night against the Atlanta Hawks. 18th in points against. So the defense has to get better. It will. And I think Pat Beverly, offensive output stinks. Yeah. But when they find the rotation with him and Rocco on defense, I think it's going to get better. Again, coaching matters. Nick Nurse. Yeah. Players buying into his system. It's a completely different team than what they were last year. And listen, they certainly haven't lost any more games than they're basically in the same spot they were last year with James. I love strip clubs. Harden. How's that team doing? Not good. Addition by subtraction. Is that the name of this show? Addition by subtraction. Oh my God, he wants to talk about fucking Bobby Abreu again. Not anymore. All right. Not anymore. But, Sixers playing well. The other thing that's also down, we'll close the end on the Sixers, is Joel Embiid flops. Even though he grabbed his knee in anguish, like he got shot by a sniper, and then 3.5 seconds later is running up the court. Yeah, it's a little annoying. I mean, I understand. Allegedly, they tell him that he should fall down like that because it's
It's better. First of all, the way he falls as an expert in falling, I actually really am.
I know you are.
He doesn't fall well, but
Maybe he needs to come to class.
he should come to a judo class.
You want to roll around with a 7'2" man?
Not one that athletic. I mean, somebody like Brad. What was his name? The kid that we drafted, the 7'7" kid.
Oh, Sean Bradley.
Sean Bradley.
Yeah.
Maybe him.
Yeah. Always had his tongue out when he went up to the rim like he was Michael Jordan. I hated him so much.
He's so bad of a player.
Oh God.
So, but how about real quick about the big 5+1? Everybody's over 500 right now.
Yeah. I loved it. I love that the Big Five Classic. Basketball, high school basketball, college basketball in the city is very popular. It's big.
Yeah.
I go to a lot of high school games. I go to a lot of Big Five games.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how much joy it brings me that Villanova finished sixth. Sixth.
6 out of 5.
6 out of 5. Drexel, I mean, it's going to be interesting once Drexel starts getting some really good recruits. They're on the map again.
Yeah.
It seems like St. Joe's has a great coach.
Yeah. Well, St. Joe's and LaSalle are both 7-2.
Yeah.
Nobody has started their conference play yet, but Temple 5-3, Nova 6-4, Penn 6-4, Drexel 5-4. Everybody over 500. I don't remember the last time, even 9 games in, that was true.
Right. No, it's good to see that.
Yeah.
And I think what's happening in college basketball and college sports in general are a lot of the mid-major teams are getting better because those athletes are going there to develop first.
Right.
Because these other superstars are getting $2, $3, $4 million deals to go play basketball or football or baseball or whatever.
Right. And they, they're one and done anyway, right? So the mid-major teams can stay together for 3 to 4 years.
You know what I'm going to really look forward to when St. Bonaventure and UMass is like good. Like that's like the heyday of like college basketball.
Like A10.
The A10 when St. Bonnie's was coming in to play Temple.
Yeah.
You knew it was going to be a dogfight.
Yeah. How about the Eagles?
Well, overreaction day was last week.
I mean, that game was set up. The 49ers had a bunch of rest. The Eagles had been the third game in like 14 days or something like that. It was set up. They played like shit. I mean, it started out great. If they get 2 touchdowns early, it's a different game.
It's a different game. If they're able to stop them, which they weren't.
I mean, yeah, they waived Christian Ellis after the game. I mean, Christian Ellis was a fucking problem.
Good special teams players, but that's what happens when you put special teams linebackers on your starting defense.
Yeah.
That's the expected outcome.
Yeah.
They never valued that position at all whatsoever.
Yeah.
That the guy that you bring in, Shaq Leonard, is your best linebacker, and he was cut by the Colts. I mean, maybe Reddick, but he's literally going to be your best player.
Reddick wasn't good either. Reddick was. I mean, they were abusing Reddick all game long because Reddick wasn't containing the outside when he was supposed to be.
No,
he was smashing down. He was smashing down to go rush the passer, and they were throwing fucking screens over his head. I don't know how many fucking times that had to happen, but anyway, I mean, their defense just played shit.
Right.
The offense wasn't great, but it's hard. I mean, you score 6 straight times. I mean, you're not going to win a game.
No,
and I'm not making any excuses for them. They had, first of all, they had no linebackers. Even their second string linebacker Cunningham was out, so they're really on to their third or fourth string linebacker. And 49ers outplayed them, and they're the best team in football. I mean, they just are.
Yeah, there's no one played well except for the wide receivers.
Yeah.
That was it. And listen, we lost that devastating game. We're still the number 1 seed. We still have the best record in the NFL. You're still the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
I know that coaching staff made adjustments this week, and I'm really interested to see how they do against the Cowboys.
This feels like a must-win game, though, because now you don't have the tiebreaker against the 49ers. And if you go to 3 losses, now you're tied, and the 49ers have an easy schedule in the back half.
Yeah.
So, it's a tough game. It's in Dallas. Dallas is like undefeated and forever at home.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean,
we were too.
Everybody is picking against the Eagles again this week.
I love it.
So, but I don't understand. I actually don't understand this more because we do have something to compare it with. The Eagles didn't play well and they beat the Cowboys. So, if they play their B+ game, do they win? I think they win.
Not that I think, I know. And let's hit the little rewind button. I know you don't have that. A couple weeks ago, we said that our expectation of this next 5 games was that we were going to go 3-2.
5, yeah, right. That's right.
We were going to go 3-2. I said that we were going to win. We're going to beat Buffalo. We did. Yep. I said that we were going to beat Kansas City. We did. I did say that we were going to lose the San Francisco game, even though I really wanted to win it.
Right.
I said we were going to beat Dallas because I can't stomach losing to the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And then the trap game was going to be Seattle.
Right.
Schedule makers made us no favors at all whatsoever. San Francisco played 1 game in 10 days. The Eagles played 3 in 11.
Right.
It makes a difference. Yeah. It really does. Again, no excuses. We could have been a little more competitive in that game.
Yeah.
Still don't see us winning that game, even though I wanted to, the San Francisco game.
Right.
And we got exposed a little bit.
We did.
We have to game plan better with Jalen Hurts. I think the San Francisco defense did a great job of containing him in the pocket. But it's going to be a different game. You got Dallas Goedert coming back. Yeah. You're coming back a little more healthy. Getting a linebacker whose intellectual football knowledge is head and shoulders above every linebacker that we have in the room right now is what you need, right?
And Zach Cunningham's back too.
So, my expectation is that we're going to beat Dallas. It's going to be a close game. I'm going to go 24-20, and we're going to win it. Being down 2017 with a late touchdown.
Oh, I would love that. Listen, I'll love any win. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm not a pretty win guy.
No.
A win's a win.
A win is a win.
But, I hope. I'm on the fence on it. I do think that the Eagles are the better team. I mean, Dallas has been putting up great numbers, but they put up great numbers against bad teams. So they haven't really played well against a good team yet. So we'll see. We'll see. It's hard to win there. I agree. Dak is playing well. Dak is a consistent, bad play in big game guy. So we'll see. They need to get a couple turnovers, I think. If they get a couple turnovers, I think they win the game.
And I think they will. I mean, no one – if you go position by position, Hurts is better than Dak. Our offensive line is better than their offensive line. Our offensive line is better than their defensive line, and vice versa. Our defensive line is better than theirs. Their linebackers are clearly better than ours.
Yeah.
I give them a bump on their secondary, but our wide receivers are so far superior than everyone else. Right. And our special teams is better. So that's kind of where we are. And I think our coach is better. Not I think, I know. Yeah. I know our coach is better.
I think that's clear.
Yeah. Getting back to my previous statement about my bone to pick.
Yeah.
And I don't want this to be a hot take, but there is a Philadelphia sports personality, a longtime Philadelphia sports personality.
Yeah.
That's a fraud.
Who's that?
It's Howard Eskin.
So why?
Because coming into Dallas week, this guy would literally show up to Eagles-Dallas games in Dallas gear because he was a Jimmy Johnson's fan and he went to the University of Miami.
Right.
But now he's a big Eagles guy.
Right.
What? No. Once you put those colors on, once you put a Dallas colors on, you're a Dallas Cowboys fan. It's like being baptized Catholic. Yeah. Even if you don't want to be, you were baptized Catholic, and now you're Catholic.
What's he do? Like, does he do like 5? Does he do weekend shows now? Is that
he does weekends. But there's a video clip of him trying to kick a field goal during an Eagles-Dallas game, wearing a Dallas starter hat and a Dallas starter jacket. The jacket was nice. I miss the old starter jackets.
Me too.
Right, but you showed up to Veterans Stadium in that.
Yeah.
And now you're on the sidelines in your fur coat for WIP.
Fucking Burger King. He's always a hot take guy. I could never stand him, really, to be honest with you. I mean, he was just always about a hot take and fucking calling people stupid. And then
genius.
He wouldn't even. My favorite thing is he would call people like geniuses being a dickhead, and he wouldn't even understand the point. Like, he clearly was missing the point. Anyway, he's a dick. Fuck that guy.
Chauvinist. Ask women, what are you making for dinner? Is the laundry done?
Oh, yeah.
Creep.
Yeah, he tried to be the Howard Stern of sports radio.
Well, I will say this.
He'd make a 4-year career out of it. So
he did. So, hats off to you for being a fraud. I know I have some friends that are friendly with him, and I apologize.
He's actually, everybody says he's actually a nice guy.
Yeah, he's a sweetheart of a guy, but you can't be a Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
You can't wear Cowboys gear and say that you're now a big fan of the Eagles. I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
How about Big Dom?
My man. My man did his job.
He did his
protecting his players.
He did his
That's what he's
job.
hired for.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, he walks around. Yeah, he walks around and protects the head coach. I mean, that's what he does.
Right. And I didn't think what he did was egregious.
No.
I think what
No, he had to get thrown out because they threw. I mean, that's the refs did the right thing though. They had to not let him stand on that sideline.
technically speaking, he didn't get thrown out. He was asked to leave.
He's asked to leave, right?
Yeah. Greenlaw, whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah.
You're a little punk.
Yeah, he's a fucking punk.
What, you're going to punch somebody in the face while you're wearing a helmet?
Yeah, of course he is.
Yeah.
Because he's a fucking punk.
Yeah. It's, I know Dom apologized. And I loved, did he ring the bell last night?
I don't know, but he should. If he didn't.
I think he was at the Sixers game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is now a legend. He will always be a legend.
Mm-hmm.
He's cemented his place in Philadelphia sports history. He's a regular guy, very large man.
Yeah.
Who fucking stood up for the team.
Very, very nice guy, too.
Yeah.
We have...
Local guy.
Local guy. I don't know him personally. I've been in his company previously.
Yeah.
Gentleman.
Yeah.
Complete gentleman. Speaks fluent Italian.
How about all the Italian American hate going on the internet right now?
I mean, as soon as that happened, they were calling him Dago. First of all, that's not okay.
Yeah.
Right? Saying a slang about any ethnicity, not okay at all whatsoever. Yeah. And I will tell you that if you are in the company of an Italian American and you say greaseball, wop, Dago, and you're going to get punched in the mouth, right? And rightfully so.
Yeah.
And it should happen.
And it's always funny where it's you get this guy doing his job, and all of a sudden, like, he's a mobster now, right? Like, I saw a bunch of that stuff going around, like the mob comparisons. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, every black person isn't a fucking criminal. Every Italian American isn't a mobster.
I do want the hat with the Italian flag on it, though. I
it's
want the
pretty
Eagles.
cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
You need to get the Irish flag on the other side.
Fuck you.
You're an AOH member. I don't want to hear it.
I am an AOH
Right.
member.
What are the qualifications to become an AOH member?
You have to be Irish Catholic.
There you go.
You have to be Irish Catholic. I'm like 15% Irish.
We did some pretty Irish things at 10 a.m. on a Sunday at the AOH. having a pint of Guinness.
Listen, any way I can get into a place that fucking sells you $2 beers, I'm in, bro.
I'm in, too. That's why I'm an elk.
By the way, shout out to AOH Artie. Our friend Artie is retiring.
Is it when?
Very soon. I will get you the information. We're all going to go up and wish him a farewell. Artie's retiring. No, Artie's a great man. Let us bring a bunch of people in for many years and just was treated us always like we were family. So we'll miss Artie.
Good dude.
Congratulations on retirement.
Yes. What is he going to do now? Go bartend at the bar around the corner?
No, I think he's going to fucking stay home. Stay home now. I just, I think it's, it hurts. You know what I mean? He's getting old. He's up there.
I understand. All right, so our sponsor,
yes,
AroundTheLeague.com,
AroundTheLeague.com,
has sent me a couple plays for the weekend, a couple sports picks.
All right, I'm going to give him some advice. He needs to up his social media presence, and he needs to start posting multiple times daily. That's my advice, but let's give you your pick.
It's good advice. And by the way, he did, because he did breaking news. Shohei Ohtani this morning going to the Toronto Blue Jays.
Nice, very good.
His first pick, absolutely good pick, I think it is. He wants you to buy the half-point down on the Baltimore Ravens getting 7.
Okay, so 6.5 against.
By the half point. Yeah, it was 6.5. Well, it was 7.5 going down to 7 right now.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two, the Colts plus 1.5. Colts broke my heart last week.
Yeah,
they really did. They were playing Tennessee. I picked Tennessee in a 9-legger, and I didn't cover. That was the only one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was. No one could talk to me on Sunday. It was a bad day. Also, it's actually a pick I don't necessarily agree with.
Yeah.
The unders in the Miami-Tennessee game.
Unders, what's the over-under?
46.5.
It's a high number,
Yeah.
but yeah.
But is that just saying that Miami's not who they are anymore? I mean, also, the Miami run defense isn't great, and it looks like Henry's actually, getting his legs back. So he had 2 touchdowns last week.
So give me the 3 again. The 3
Yeah.
real quick.
His best pick is Baltimore by the half point down to 7.
Yep.
The Colts plus 1.5 and under in the Miami-Tennessee game at 46.5.
All right. Well, we'll go over them at our next podcast.
Yeah. I'm going to give you my pick.
You're going to give your pick, huh?
I'm going to give my pick, all right?
I don't do picks.
Well, I'll do it for you.
I don't do fucking picks.
Yo,
bro.
cuz. Yo, Bo.
Yo, Bo. This is my town, Bo. Sorry.
I actually like the Cleveland Browns over Jacksonville.
And what's the spread?
-3, right?
Jacksonville is giving 3.
Jacksonville is
Getting
3.
Because Trevor Lawrence is hurt.
right, but the over/under number is egregiously low, 33.5.
Who's their quarterback?
Jacksonville?
Yeah,
It doesn't matter.
Jimmy.
It doesn't matter.
They got another kid from Staten Island.
He's the hottest name in the NFL right now, Tommy Cutlets.
Tommy Cutlets.
No, Jacksonville that line is telling you it's going to be a low-scoring game, but I still see Cleveland winning by over 7 there. So I'm going to go Cleveland. I'm going to go hard on the Cleveland game. I'm going to go ham, as they say. Hammy. So yeah, those picks are brought to you aroundtheleague.com.
Aroundtheleague.com.
Your source for sports cards, picks, and on the Twitters, aroundtheleague.com.
Aroundtheleague.com.
Good job, Mikey. Proud of you, buddy. We need more content out of you.
More content that I can repost. Thank you.
It's all about you.
It's all about me.
It's all about Dave.
I got an ego, bro.
A little bit.
Let's talk about the new sport that I found.
You sent me 2.
Yeah.
You sent me 2. One's going to get me fired.
No, we talked about that a little bit last week. I'll let that one go.
You're going to let that one go?
The booty slap?
The booty slap.
You want to talk about the booty slap?
I do not want to talk about the booty slap. I don't.
So, these Eastern Europeans have the greatest things in the world. And there's a booty slap league where very hot women get dressed up in bikinis or less and slap each other in the asshole.
The video you sent me, they were really not. I have higher standards for saying someone's hot.
Most people would love to watch those booties shake.
If you're just into the booty and the actual slap, then okay, yes. The
face. I mean, the face is not important.
Jesus Christ.
Not in that situation.
Personality is important to me, Dave.
Right. As you're watching somebody's ass get slapped. Yeah, absolutely.
I want to get the female viewership from 4 to 8.
If there's any sponsor out there that would like, or any investor that would like to start a United States or Philadelphia booty slap league, I am your guy to run that league.
David is your guy.
David, yes. David, yeah.
Are you David or Dave?
I mean, my government name is David.
You mean your given name?
My government name.
Your government name.
Yeah, the one that I submitted to the government. I mean, I didn't submit it. I was too young then, but my parents submitted David McGaldy Jr.
Would you change your name?
To Dave?
To anything?
No.
No?
No, why?
I'm just curious.
I would Cornelius.
I do like the older names for people now, like Beatrice.
Beatrice.
Like if I had another daughter, I'd probably name her Beatrice or Ruthie.
B.
Yeah, call her B. Yeah. Okay, a booty slap.
Yeah, I have no doubt that it would kill. That we could sell out arenas. My idea is if you bleed, you lose. 10 rounds. First one to give up, you either give up or you have a 3-person panel that decides whose ass is worse looking.
Is it from bruising?
From bruising, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Like the power slap.
Yeah, like the power slap.
Got it. But if you bleed.
Yeah, I don't want pretty girls bleeding. You know what I mean? I feel bad about that. So if you bleed, you lose. I mean, yeah, if it's ugly girls can bleed.
Speaking of ugly girls, let's get into Russian basketball.
Let's move on. So Russia has a basketball league. Apparently, I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's where you can fucking body slam each other.
Yeah, everything there is basically like a gang fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Flagrants aren't a thing there. You could shoot the basketball and they get suplexed immediately afterwards, and you get points for it.
But it's a fucking basketball court. You're getting fucking slammed on the hardwood.
I know. What is wrong with these? What happened? What happened to these Russians?
It's communism fucked them up, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Maybe a little radiation too.
Jesus Christ, bro.
There is a 5-on-5 group fighting. Have you seen this yet?
No.
That it's 5 dudes versus 5 dudes
In a ring?
in a ring.
Oh, God.
And then what happens is if you knock your opponent out or you get him out of the ring,
Yeah.
then you have the advantage of having an extra man.
Right.
Right. There's a video out there that was like basically 3-on-1.
It's like the Royal Rumble, but real.
Yeah, and they didn't let the dude out of the ring. They had a vendetta against this dude.
Oh, my God. They just beat the shit out
They
of him.
beat the crap out of him.
Oh, you will see videos. Is this a real sports league? Can I find videos?
You can find videos. I could send them to you.
Oh, yeah.
5-on-5.
You will be seeing videos of this on my Twitter. I mean, not my Twitter and my, it's not Twitter, it's X now, I'm sorry.
It's X. X going to give it. By the way, Elon dropped the ball on that. Like every time you log on to X,
Yeah.
that you don't have DMX coming on saying X going to give it to you.
Oh, yeah.
He dropped the ball there.
Yeah, he did. But you will see that on my social media soon.
I love it. Yeah. Speaking of Elon,
Yes.
Elon. What's your take on him telling his former advertisers to go fuck themselves?
I love it. I actually love it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's the same thing with Dana White. I mean, they're a little brash, both of those guys. But I love dudes. Like, listen, I am who I am. I'm going to say what I'm going to say. Fuck you. You know,
He is awkward as hell, though.
he's so weird. He's the weirdest dude ever.
Yeah.
Dana White. I want to be friends with Dana White 100%.
Do you?
I really do. I mean, I actually, it's endearing to me. Like, Donald Trump, I think, is a fucking complete and utter disaster as a human being.
Mm-hmm.
But he loves him. It's his friend. We have friends that are complete disasters, and we love them, and we're loyal to them.
Be with them tonight.
Right. And that's endearing to me. Like, there's nobody that's going to tell him what to say or who to be friends with. I love that stuff.
Well, it's transparency, right? Because you're finding out exactly who they are and what they think immediately.
Right. And again, the point that I've made several times on other non-sports podcasts, but your political views and all that stuff, none of that shit really matters in real life. It's who you are as a person and what you would do for each other and that loyalty and the friendship that matters.
Yeah. Are you a good person?
Right. Are you a good person? Right. Can I trust you with my wife or my mother? I can't trust Frank with my mother, but with my wife I could.
It's a good thing her last name's not Bedard. Can't let this go. I can't let it go.
I mean, he banged the kid's mom. I mean, what the fuck? It's hard to let it go.
Oh, God.
They had a Mother's Weekend. It wasn't on Mother's Day.
No.
There was
No. There was some White Claws. There was definitely some White Claws and champagne.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Is she married? Do we know if she's married yet?
You know what? I stopped afterwards because I felt bad. I feel bad for Bedard. I really do.
Well, I mean, he's 19 years old. I mean, yeah.
And hockey players may be the best trash talkers in all of sports.
Oh, God.
By far.
Yeah. I mean, he's got to get in a couple fights. Like, I know he's like a little dude and like, he's the Wayne Gretzky type that doesn't get in fight, but he's got to punch somebody in the face.
Right. I would if I was on the other team, I'd be, hey, is your mom around tonight? Can you just point her out in the stands?
She like 25-year-olds.
Apparently she does.
Well, no, the dude was like in his 30s, right?
Yeah, he was supposed to be a father figure, like we said.
Yeah. And he was.
Yeah. Thanksgiving was definitely awkward. The Canadian Thanksgiving, by the way. Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, you wanted to talk a little bit about my coaching escapades and my philosophy and
yeah, it's been coming up in my life a little bit, and I wanted to talk about it from my perspective, your perspective. So you coached a bunch of young kids,
yeah,
for several, but how many years? I mean, 10 years?
No, yeah, probably closer to 15, maybe 20.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, okay. All right. I mean, your own kid, I guess, what, for how long?
Nikki, since he's been 6.
Okay, yeah, so
Yeah.
a long time. So
Nikki and Marissa.
right.
Yeah.
So motivation. What's your theory on that? How to get it? How to what the appropriate way to get it is?
All right, so I'm going to give you a little story about when I played DV football.
Yeah.
At 10 years old.
I have that story too. I'll tell it.
Yeah. And DV was a powerhouse, not only in Philadelphia, but around the region. And they stopped their football program for 1 year, and then they brought it back. And I was that year, right?
Okay.
My 10-year-old year. I was 95 pounds playing 110 pounds, right? So I was outclassed by weight,
Right.
which is a big difference back then.
And then the 110-pound was really like a 115.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm playing against dudes that had mustaches, I felt like.
Right.
So, we're halfway in the season. We're 0-4. We haven't scored a touchdown, right? And we're doing football drills, and I'm dogging it. I'm clearly dogging it. I'm discouraged. I'm constantly getting yelled at. I wasn't being motivated at all whatsoever.
Right.
So our coach, Rodney, who's a black man, it's important to know that Rodney was a black man for this story.
Is he still a black man?
He's still a black man.
Oh, that's
yeah, he didn't do the whole Sammy Sosa thing. Comes up in my ear hole and whispers in my ear hole. He goes, "If you don't start putting effort into this drill, I'm going to go home and fuck your mother." I was 10 years old.
Yeah.
I still believed in Santa Claus.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Outrageous. I was like, did my dad know about this? Like, what the hell's like? He got a little motivation out of me for that, right?
Yeah, short term.
But my point is, you can't coach people the way we were coached when we were younger, right? It's more therapist. You have to find motivation and challenge them in different ways right now because athletes just don't respond to that. So if a kid my shortstop misses a ground ball and I yell at him for missing the ground ball, guess what's going to happen? He's immediately going to clam up the next time a ground ball's hit to him, right? And at a kid who is 13, 14, 15, you can't blow them up on the field. You can't blow up anybody on the field.
You can't do it. You can't do it with adults either because then the ego is a part of it.
Right.
Right. It's not so much a part of it with it's the feelings for like more of the just a sensitive feelings with the kids. But as an adult, no fucking adults dealing with that.
No.
I mean, no reasonable adult.
No.
I mean, I think there are some people that respond to that negative energy.
Mm-hmm.
But I asked you this at the last podcast when we start talking about it a little bit, but do you think that was appropriate way to coach even back then? I know it was a harder time, but that negative reinforcement thing, I don't know that gets you more out of you.
It doesn't, right?
I think in the short term maybe, and in spots it might, but not as a culture, like as a theory.
No, you can't be a drill sergeant, right? And when I'm coaching professionals and dealing with my staff, I ask them a very simple question: how do I win with you? How do I lose with you? Right?
Yeah.
And how direct can I be with you? 1, that I need to lie. 10, I need to be a drill sergeant. You'd be shocked. No one ever picks 10.
Right.
Like no one even picks 9 or possibly 8. They need me to be closer between a 6 and a 7, where I could be stern.
Yeah.
Let them know I was disappointed with their results, and but they also want the solution, right? And that's what coaching is, right? Is you set expectations, you hold people accountable, and then you provide solutions to get them from A to B.
And holding people accountable doesn't mean when when they're not being accountable to embarrass them.
Right.
Embarrassment is not something that lasts. Again, it might be a motivating factor initially to be unembarrassed, but you're not going to respect that person.
No.
And once you lose that respect between coach and player, it's over.
Yeah.
It's over. And then it becomes that long road of I'm going to start to tune you out.
Mm-hmm. But let me give you two other things to add to this, right?
Yeah.
Number one, your practice sessions, your training sessions have to be as stressful as anything that could ever happen in a game, right? So you're not just going through the motions during practice and training, right? So when that ground balls hits it to that player in the 6th inning, 7th inning, 8th inning, 9th inning, right, it's routine. And it takes a lot of effort to get that ground ball to become a routine ground ball to them.
So to that point is intensity versus negative reinforcement are two different things. You can bring that intensity. You can yell a little bit in a positive way, or just to bring that stress level up to make it competition level, right? And even at the competition, you can be loud and scream and be positive, but I think it crosses the line, and it becomes a negative. Becomes not productive when it starts to be negative and starts to be negative reinforcement and humiliating people and call, whatever how you know what I mean, but heading down that road, it's a fine line, and it's tough to learn as a young coach. It really is. I have some stories about that too. Like, I was coaching football when I was 16 years old because they didn't have a football team in my high school, and I coached with Steve's dad. Steve helped out the 1 year. And I remember vividly, I was like, because I was doing the same thing that my coaches did to me, yelling, you're calling people sissies, like crazy shit, right? That you just would never do now. But this was like early 90s. So, and I'm doing this to 10-year-olds. I'm 16 years old. And I remember turning around when I'm fucking all fired up, screaming at these kids, and they look like terrified. They look terrified. I'm like, and at that moment, I realized this isn't, like, I don't want to be this person, number one. And you're fucking yelling at a 10-year-old, you asshole. Like, like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
So, let me help you on that, because there is a coaching moment, one of my coaching moments that was actually captured on a video and audio, right? One of my players is mic'd up by TikTok influencers, and they're great guys. I love these guys. Yeah. But one of my players couldn't get a bunt down in an important part of the game. Right. And then proceeds to hit a double. And by the time he got over to me at third base, right, I wasn't happy that he hit a double. Right. I'm like, I said, all I want for Christmas is for 2 chocolate chip cookies and for my players learn how to put a bunt down. Right. And that message was sent very loud and clear to him, because the next sessions, all that player worked on was bunting.
Right, and it was said in humility, with humor. Yeah, but you got the point across, and you were holding him accountable. Yeah, but not embarrassing him.
No, you can't. Once you're going to lose your player, right? And specifically with my team, right? We weren't supposed to be this good. Right, we weren't. Right. We're nationally ranked number 1 in South Jersey, but we were in our organization at the time. We were the 4th team. We were considered the 4th team at our age level.
Like the D level team.
We were considered the D level team. Right. And then we beat the A level team, and we embarrassed them in North Carolina at East Carolina. Right. We beat them. We should have 10-run them. We didn't. And that was we beat every other nationally ranked team up until that point, with the exception of the own team in our own organization. Right. And David, that was 2 years, 4 seasons of working on fundamentals, doing the small things extraordinarily well. Right. And then the expected output was that, because up until that point, our practices weren't intense. Our workouts weren't intense when we first started. And we were getting blown. Dude, I posted it. We lost that 1 year on the big field, 60-90 field. We lost to a team 20-1. Yeah. And then the following season, that spring season, because we were so intense with our training and hyper focused on the fundamentals. We beat that team 8-7 in a championship game, in a tournament championship game. So, they never would have responded if I told them that they sucked and I'm disappointed and we need to do better. The best way to coach is hold them accountable, have some humility, connect with those people, right? Connect with your athletes, and then work on the things where your deficits. But most importantly, have a hyper focus on what you do well and then exploit it.
So, right. So, like, The difference is instead of saying you suck, it's saying we really got our ass kicked today. Here's how we can get better. I know we can be better than this, and I believe in you guys, and this is the way we can get better. Trust me. Let's do this. Let's be intense about it, and you will see the results.
Right. And there was never any question that my athletes didn't know that I believed in them. Yeah. Right. And that I was working as hard as they were as a coach.
Right.
And, I'm being serious. Like, it dominated my thought process for hours on hours on a day. How am I going to get this player X? How am I going to get the expected output out of this player? Okay, well, what are these drills that I can make sure that he's hitting the gaps?
And the other thought that I always have is my high school baseball coach, Art Kratchman, used to say to us is that you have to be fair to everybody. You don't have to treat everybody the same. So everybody's going to react a little bit differently and to stimuli.
Right? I love that saying, by the way.
It's a great saying, and it's right. He's right. That's the way you have to take coaching. Is everybody, as a coach, you're a motivator. You're trying to make the best out of that person, and your expectations should mean nothing. You're trying to get the best out of that player. You have to get your ego out of the way. You really do. Trying to winning and you being a winning coach doesn't matter. It's the best for that kid. And some kids are good athletes. Some kids are bad. Some kids are never going to be more than a pinch hitter. You know what I mean? In certain situations, or, the extra player. But the point is you're going to get the best out of them and try to motivate them to be the best that they can be. You can't, that expectation that you had, or you as a player, or you as a parent, which we see more often than we see from coaches, right?
Man. Yeah.
As the parents getting their ego in the way. Just really important to stay out of that. And to just stay positive. But that doesn't mean a lack of intensity. That doesn't mean, a lack of accountability. It just means always positive. I mean, I don't think it works any other way. It's certainly not in today's environment. But I never responded. So maybe I was before my time and overly sensitive, but I didn't respond to that nonsense. I told you I would give you a story, an Angry Dave story.
Let me hear it.
So I'm 12 years old. My dad's the defensive coordinator of our football team, the Capitola Cowboys. We're the fucking Cowboys. Anyway, they were great uniforms, though. They really were.
So you can't be an Eagles fan, according to my theory.
We always would play on Saturdays, by the way, and then you would see people in Penn State gear, and they always thought we were like dressed up as Penn State players. That's the type of uniforms they look like. But in any event, we go to King of Prussia. It's like the 90-pounder, so it's like 115 with pads or something like that. We're like 11 or 12 years old, something. We go up to King of Prussia. The refs don't show up. So the head coach and the head coach of the other team decide to allow King of Prussia's parents to referee the game. Oh, God. Yes. That's exactly the way it goes. We lost 12-6. I remember it like it's yesterday. They called 3 touchdowns back. Holding penalties. 3.
How old are you?
11 or 12.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fucking the home, and I was a defensive lineman at the time. I was getting fucking mauled all game. Fucking pulled, whatever, and whatever. It was bad. We still only lost 12-6. We get off the field. We sit on the bleachers, and the head coach just starts fucking unloading on us. We just got hometowned, in a game that actually wound up not even fucking counting.
Right.
Because they didn't, the league didn't let it count.
Right, you're just kids playing at that point.
We're just kids playing. And he starts screaming about effort and fucking nonsense. And he turns and looks at me, and he's dead now, which is okay. But
you didn't go to that funeral, did you?
I didn't. No. He turns and looks at me. He said he wasn't looking at me, but whatever. He turns and looks at me and starts yelling. And I stood up. My dad was standing next to him. I stood up and I screamed at Paul directly to his face and pointed at him and said, "Fuck you," as loud as I could. And then my dad his face turned burgundy as it would when he got mad.
Yeah.
And he chased me. around the field.
Was it the lack of disrespect that you showed the coach, or what?
Yeah,
That's what it was.
It was the disrespect, right?
Yeah.
So it was, and let's be honest, I embarrassed him.
Yeah.
Right, I embarrassed him in front of 100 people. I mean, everybody was around. So
And wait, embarrassed your dad or embarrassed your coach?
well, both,
Right.
Because my dad was an assistant coach, right?
Right.
So he starts chasing me around. My dad used to tell this story, and you remember how they used to separate? They would separate with like a cord. They would separate the fans from the players, right? I'm running around. He can't catch me. I'm zigging. I'm zagging. I go under a cord. I lift it up. I almost take his fucking head off.
Oh my God.
So finally, I'm running. I turn around just to look to see if he's still running, and he fucking buries me.
Does he really?
Just he fucking Brian Dawkins dive tackles me.
All right, so let's stop here.
Yeah.
Dad, fairly big dude,
Yeah,
but he was a heavy smoker.
heavy smoker. So I fucked
So
him
that
up.
was a good cardio that you put in.
Yeah.
Right. It's like when you run from the cops
So,
and
right.
they finally catch up to you.
Yeah. Heavy smoke. Yeah. My dad at the time was he's 5'10", 240.
Yeah.
Muscular up top, big belly, right? Like, like 56-inch chest, big dude. And he fucking buried me and then proceeded to fucking, drive his fist into my fucking head a few times. But he did.
I don't mean to laugh. And he didn't do that.
But then he picks me up and he walks me back over to everybody and he says, "That's how you fucking tackle." Which I give him credit. It's pretty funny.
It's good that we can laugh at that pain, though.
But
right.
But again, so that's an Angry Dave moment. So that tells you what 12-year-old me thought about that fucking negative reinforcement nonsense.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work. I had no respect for it. So anyway, I got taken off the team.
Because of that?
My dad took me off the team, right?
Okay.
And I heard him. It was like a week. It was not even 5 days. I heard him talking on the phone. Yeah, if he just apologized. So they just wanted me to apologize to Paul, and then I could be back on the team. So that was what? I don't know.
A long time ago.
That was September.
Paul died without getting his apology.
No. So he did get his apology.
Oh,
that's the end of the story, right? So
sorry.
So I was punished for months, right? I never went back on the team because I never apologized. And then I wanted to play baseball in April. So we're talking September through April. I was fucking punished the whole time, dude.
Right.
And we get to April, and he's like, "Well, you're not playing baseball unless you apologize to him." So I was friends with the guy's son. So I walk around and I say, "Paul, I'm sorry about what happened." And this is what this jerk off says to me. I know your dad sent you around here. That's what he said. He didn't even say.
Wow.
He didn't even accept my apology. He said, "It's fine. I know your dad sent you around here."
What a jerk off.
Yeah, he died of a cocaine overdose a heart attack, most likely cocaine induced. Fuck him.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, the true measure of a good coach,
Yeah.
right, are not the wins, the trophies that you have.
Right.
It's the people that you have surrounded around you at your time of your death, right? And, there are a lot of bad coaches out there.
Yeah.
There really are. And I always just wanted to make a positive impact on people's lives, and, as well as you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, and I think, and separate from like the technical aspects of being a coach, because there's two parts of it. There's the motivator and there's the technician, right? Mm-hmm. And you have to be both, right? But it's more important to be the motivator.
But it's such a low level of movement, being motivator.
Yeah.
But if you can inspire your athlete to want to do better, and that's the disconnect. Yeah, I can motivate you.
Right.
I can motivate anybody, right, to want to do better because I could show them the expected results. But if I can inspire you to be better, that lasts longer.
100%.
And that's what coaches miss out on is
Yes.
how do I inspire this person to get the expected outcome that I want so I could show him the results that he deserves or she deserves. Yeah. And, if I can inspire you to be better, that is the true essence of success.
It's like that saying, and I'm going to butcher it, but like, you fix it, you fix a tire for a man, it's, he's better for the moment, but you teach him how to fix a flat.
Yeah.
Then he's better for
the
life.
whole fishing analogy.
Yeah. Right. So, right.
So let me close this little chapter here, right?
Yeah.
Because one of the teams that we beat, and according to Perfect Game, and it's going to go to technical, and we're going to talk about inspiring, right? him and we beat them 15-0, and they were ranked regionally #1 by perfect game, right?
Yeah.
Team was called East Coast Ghost. Carter, coach that he did a really good job, a very good coach. We beat him 15-0, and him and I are in the airport flying to another perfect game tournament, and his exact words were, "I still don't know what happened. I don't know how you beat me 15-0." He goes, no disrespect at all, Frank, but what I mean is we were down 6-0 in the first inning, and I don't know how it happened. He goes, "Can you just kind of like walk me through it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be more than happy to walk you through it." I said, and give you a little history. Like, he beat me previously in a championship game up at a Big Show tournament. And the game was close, but it wasn't that close. Right. So he thought, like, okay, this team could not have gotten better. Right. They have all the same and I had all the same players that I had previously. And he goes, "I don't know what happened." I said, "Well, obviously I inspired my players. We worked really hard to make sure that we could hit a fastball." And he goes, "I don't understand." I said, "Okay." I said, "What happened in that inning?" He goes, "Your leadoff hitter got on by a walk." I said, "Yeah." I said, "We didn't realize is that we take very aggressive leads at first base. I mean, really aggressive, especially when we're not stealing.
Right.
Because now that pitcher's actually thinking that he's going to steal.
Yeah.
And what's he going to do?
He's going to worry. Yeah.
He's going to throw a fastball. Right. So now my batter knows that a fastball is coming, and fastballs equal doubles. And that's exactly what happened over and over and over again. So aggressive leads at first base, produce a double. Now it's second and third, and guess what happens? That pitcher's flushed, right? So now he knows he can't throw a breaking ball or a curveball into the dirt because then a run's going to score. So guess what he's going to throw? Fastball. Boom.
I know it's coming. Yeah.
Right. So if I can make the game predictable,
right,
for my players, we're going to execute. Now remember, my players didn't go. I didn't add any players. He still had all the same players. All these players, most of them are D1 athletes right now. Some of them have scholarships already. Virginia Tech, Virginia, Vanderbilt. Like some powerhouse schools. Right. And for us to make the game predictable for my players, that was the difference. And it was a new concept for him. He didn't get it. He didn't understand that the coaching philosophy. But what only really mattered is that if I didn't spend that entire offseason making sure my players could hit the ball the other way into the gaps or pull the ball into the gaps, that doesn't happen, right? The game's not that close. So I inspire my players to be player to get the expected outcome that I wanted.
And you put them in the best position to succeed.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, well, it's funny because, I play in a 35 and over league, and we've had a lot of success over the years when we would play down in the divisions in the 25 over, 18 and over. And it's because of that. It's because, well, those kids think that because we're older, they're just going to throw fastballs by us. Mm-hmm. And, we can still play the game.
Right, you still hit a fastball.
And if the game's predictable, then it becomes easier.
Yep.
Right? You still might not be able to execute, but it becomes easier. So they make it easy because of the testosterone. And that's the coach too, to be honest, because he thought I have better players. My better players will beat your better players because they're better.
Yep.
And that's not always the case, especially in a game like baseball.
No.
Because it's strategy does come into play. It just does.
Yeah, I just told you my two favorite wins of all time. The one in East Carolina and this one.
Yeah.
And negative impact on your players. He lost some of those players after this game. After this season, because in tournament play, there's a 2-hour time limit.
Right.
We beat them in 45 minutes.
Wow.
So for the next hour and 15 minutes,
he yelled at them.
He ran them.
Oh, he ran them. Yeah.
On hot turf at MSI.
The same thing, the negative reinforcement thing.
Yeah. He was like, "I'm going to run these motherfuckers."
Yeah,
I'm like, "Carter, don't do this. Don't."
Yeah.
Because we were talking after the game. I'm like, "Don't." He was like, "Nah, fuck that." I'm like, "All right."
Because they're not allowed to lose. You know what I mean? Like, they're not allowed to have a bad day.
Yeah.
Did they not put the effort in? You know what I'm saying? Like,
they did. They clearly put the effort in.
Yeah.
Right? But they've never been embarrassed. I can guarantee if you go back and look at their they've never got embarrassed like that
Yeah.
before. They've never lost like that before.
But that's a lesson. That's a lesson in life. That sometimes you unexpectedly lose. Sometimes bad things happen when you're not prepared for it.
Right.
Right. And you have to still get up and do it again. But demoralizing yourself is not going to help.
No, not at all.
I mean, what the fuck was the running? It's just a punishment. It's a punishment for failing, right? Failure in and of itself, if you care about it, is the punishment.
Yeah.
Right? It's enough to walk off the field and be a loser. That's enough punishment. Now, if a kid doesn't care, that's another issue. Right? And that's a motivation issue, and maybe he doesn't belong on the team because he really doesn't want to be there. So that's another issue. But reinforcing that because you failed, now I have to punish you is just fucking retarded. It's retarded. It doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work. So, it's, I can't wait to get back to coaching. It's coming soon. I'm really enjoying watching Nicky in high school and his college recruitments that's happening right now. But I'm going to be really happy when I have the opportunity to start coaching again. I really am, because, I don't want to give up on coaching.
Yeah.
I do enjoy it. That your players break your hearts.
Yeah.
Your parents will backstab you. That happens, right? But the what always motivates me or inspires me is the small deposits that I'm making in my athlete's life.
Right.
That's going to make them a better human being in the future.
A better human being.
And that's what coaching does.
And again, in all of these sports, the guys that make it are the 1% of the 1%. The chance of you really making it and become a professional athlete are so low. So really, for most kids, it's an experience. And it's some lessons to be learned to take into life. There's nothing like being a leader on a baseball team and running baseball teams has informed every part of my life on how to be a leader and how to get things done. So sports are a beautiful way to learn that.
Right.
And to learn that determination and intensity does translate into success.
So, I always look at it this way too, is that I have 12 athletes who I'm training to be a coach when they have children, whether it's their son or their daughters. I want them to coach that team the same way I coach them, right? And that, going back to what you previously said, you were coaching the way you were coached.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
Now, is it going to change? Probably, yeah. But the small little tidbits of what I gave them to get their athletes inspired and how hard they worked on training and making the trainings as stressful and panic-induced. So when it comes to game time, that they could respond to the pressure point or the pressure of that game and make it look easy is what I'm hoping for, right?
Yeah, I mean that's the point, right? You are going to go back to what you learned from the beginning. Now, if that's successful and you're inspiring people, you're going to keep doing that, right? If you're a good coach, and everybody's going to change it a little bit because you have to change it to your personality. It has to fit who you are, and that goes with everything. That's one of my tidbits on being a lawyer is being yourself. And again, authenticity, right? So you have to be yourself. Just another one of the tidbit, then we'll close this out, is that same year when I was coaching, it was my second year of coaching, when I'm 16 years old. I'm 16, 17, I guess. I had a Muslim kid. We would always go, and it was South Philly. Everybody's a Catholic. We would always go in the huddle, and we would say Hail Mary before the game. The guy was the nicest guy in the world. Had no problem with it necessarily. He just pulled me aside and asked for me, asked when we're going to do that just for his kid to step out. So the next time we did it, we came in a huddle and he was going to step out. I said, no, bring him back in. That's not what we're going to do. And we just changed it. We just did, bowed our head in a moment of silence, and he did like a team chant or whatever.
Nice.
But just, again, learning, right?
Right.
Humility, being able to know that the things that you do, unintentionally sometimes may be a dismotivating factor, and being able to change and include everybody. That's all.
Did
Did
you do the whole Our Lady of Victory, pray for us at the end?
Yeah, it's what we used to do. Then I stopped. No, I stopped doing it at all. I just about moment of silence. Think about what we're going into, and pray to whoever you pray to.
Got it.
And then we would just say like team, I forget, or something like that. You know what I mean?
Got it. Awesome.
But it's just it's something. I was 16 years old. I wasn't thinking about it. It's just, again, it was something that we always did.
Right, but listen, 16-year-old you, there's not a lot of 16-year-olds could recognize that. And that there's a lot of 16-year-olds will just shut up and do it. right?
Of course.
Instead of making the right change.
There was a lot of 45-year-old men that would told them to shut up
and do it.
Yeah, this is what we do here, bro.
The cigarette hanging out of their mouth.
This is my town.
All right, so this episode is brought to you by AroundTheLeague.com.
AroundTheLeague.com.
Got his picks in. Go with the Ravens -7.
Right. By the 0.5.
By the points. Tennessee +1.5 and unders in the Tennessee-Miami game.
And Frank's pick?
I forgot already. No, it was Cleveland. Cleveland -3.
Cleveland -3. And then
I don't do teasers.
Yeah.
But I would almost get Cleveland +3 and then give the 6 points.
Yeah.
And go minus or over under, what's that, 28? 27?
Yeah.
27? You can't score 27 points in an NFL football game.
Yeah.
Then we got problems.
Yeah. Over 27.
Over 27.
You tease it?
You know what, Dave? Let's do that. I'm going to put that bet in right after this.
All right. Just say it one more time. So
it's going to be Cleveland +3.
Yeah.
And the over-under 27.
Got it.
I'm going to do it right now.
Right now. Until next time, we're out.
Peace.